I think we can all agree that change is, well, it's just painful.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether it's a huge reorganization at work, or you're forced into a new career, or even just in your personal life. It's the one thing that's always there, but we spend so much energy fighting it.
And we get paralyzed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paralyzed by losing that certainty. We've all been there. Things are comfortable, they're stable, and then boom, they're not. So the big question isn't really if change happens.
We know it will.
It's how we navigate that pivot without, completely freezing up.
And that feeling, that intellectual and emotional paralysis, is the absolute core of our deep dive today.
That's right. Our mission today is super focused. We went through Dr. Spencer Johnson's famous and incredibly short business fable, Who Moved My Cheese?
A classic.
It really is. The book is designed to be like a quick antidote to getting stuck. We're here to pull out the core, universal rules it gives for not just surviving, but actually thriving when change is inevitable.
And the genius of this book, and why it sold millions of copies, is that it bypasses all the heavy academic jargon about change management.
Yeah, there's no textbook language here.
None. It gives you its message through these simple little characters and metaphors, making these really complex ideas about resistance and adaptation. Well, they become instantly understandable.
And easy to remember.
Critically easy to remember when you're actually in the middle of a crisis. It's the perfect shortcut to get your head straight for whatever disruption is coming next.
Okay, so let's unpack this central metaphor because it really is the foundation of the whole thing. We're talking about the maize and the cheese.
Absolutely. The entire framework rests on this deceptively simple setup.
So the maize,
Yeah.
that's basically where we live and work.
Right. It's your company, your industry, even your social circle.
It's life.
Yeah.
With all the hidden corners and the frustrating dead ends.
And then you've got the cheese. The cheese is what you want. It's your goal.
Your definition of success, maybe?
Exactly. Or happiness, a job title, financial security. That thing you feel you've earned. It's the reward.
And as the title warns you, that reward is never permanently stuck in one place.
Never.
What's amazing is how fast it delivers this message. We noted the audiobook is, barely an hour long?
Just over.
And that simple, almost repetitive style, that's a feature, not a bug. It's meant to be a quick dose of wisdom. Perfect for a beginner, or honestly for anyone who just needs a quick refresher when they're in the thick of it.
That quick to direct format serves the central idea perfectly. Change is inevitable. Those who adapt quickly succeed. Those who resist suffer. It's a very binary challenge the book presents.
It really is.
And it sets up right from the start that your attitude toward the change, not the change itself, is the one single thing that determines your future.
So we have the environment, the maize, and we have the goal, the cheese. And now we meet the four characters in the maze.
Right, and they're basically mindsets that we all fall into. You've got two mice, Sniff and Scurry, and two little people, Hem and Haw.
The mice are. They're pure instinct.
Totally. Sniff is the one who, he sniffs out the changes early. He's the early warning system.
And Scurry is just go time, all action.
He just acts. So when their cheese supply disappears, they don't sit around and analyze it.
No debate.
They just trust their instincts, they put on their running shoes, and they go. The cheese moves, you move.
Yeah.
Simple.
And then we get to the little people, Hem and Haw.
Hmm.
And they represent a much slower, much more complex human reaction.
One that's rooted in emotion and, frankly, a bit of entitlement.
Hem is the ultimate resistor. He feels like he's owed the old cheese. He digs in, complains it's not fair, and he's just stuck in denial.
He's stagnating,
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically just stuck.
But Haw is where the story gets its real momentum.
Right, because Haw, and this is crucial, he starts out just like Hem.
He does. He resists, he complains, he blames everyone else.
But he's the one who eventually has that moment of self-awareness. He realizes that holding on to the past is what's paralyzing him. He learns to let go, he adapts, and he starts moving.
And finds out there's actually growth and enjoyment in looking for something new.
Exactly. The power of the story is in that moment, that divergence right when the cheese is gone.
The mice just run.
Instantly. While the two little people just stay caught in their own biases, hoping the cheese will just magically reappear.
Or that someone else is going to fix it for them.
Right. And that split right there shows the basic conflict. Proactive adaptation versus entitled resistance. It's that initial choice to move or to mourn that dictates the entire rest of their story.
But let me just challenge that for a second. Doesn't Hem's reaction feel, kind of relatable?
Oh, absolutely. We're not mice.
Right. We have routines, job titles, mortgages. Is Hem just lazy? Or is his resistance based on a pretty legitimate fear of losing everything he's built?
That's a great question, and the book does address it, but subtly. Hem is resisting not because he's tired, but because he's afraid of the search.
The process itself.
He fears the process more than he fears starvation. And that fear, that mental block, is what Ha finally has to confront. Ha realizes the resistance is the real trap.
And that's when he starts writing on the walls of the maze,
Yeah,
right? Documenting what he's learning.
perfect. So let's follow Ha's path and get into those actionable takeaways. We pulled out 6 key lessons from this.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start with the big mental shift. Lesson number 1, acceptance is key.
The message here is stark.
It is. Change happens whether you like it or not. Ignoring it won't make it go away. So the first step is just accepting the new reality.
And that is so much harder than it sounds. Acceptance isn't just giving up.
No.
It's an active choice to stop wasting emotional energy fighting something you can't control.
Right.
Think about a huge tech disruption, like the shift from old data centers to the cloud.
Okay.
The Hems in that scenario spent months complaining the cloud was insecure or too complicated, and they wasted all that time. The Haws accepted it and immediately started learning new skills. Acceptance frees you up for action.
That mental acceptance leads right into lesson number 2, confronting fear. This is the biggest hurdle for both Hem and Ha.
It's the big one. The book is really clear that most people don't fear the change itself. What they fear is the unknown that comes with it.
The possibility of failing in that new maze.
Exactly. And this is where you get the real AHA moment of the whole story. Ha, standing there paralyzed, he scribbles a question on the wall that becomes his mantra.
It's the question we should all be asking ourselves.
It is. He asks, what would you do if you were not afraid?
That's so powerful, because if you just strip away the fear of embarrassment, the financial risk, the right decision becomes instantly clear.
Instantly. For so many people, that fear of the unknown is the only thing tying them to a dying company or a miserable job.
And that clarity forces you to move.
Which brings us to our action-oriented lessons. Let's talk about 3 and 5 together. Lesson 3 is continuous movement. The rule is simple. Move with the cheese.
Success demands you're always learning, always exploring.
The real danger is just waiting for things to go back to the way they were.
Right, you can't just sit there and hope the economy from 5 years ago comes back. You have to be sniffing out new opportunities.
It's the Blockbuster story. They refused to believe streaming was real.
And Netflix just moved with the cheese.
And that inability to move is fatal. Which brings us to lesson 5. Adapt quickly, suffer less. The book argues that the faster you adapt, the less stress and pain you go through.
The real pain isn't the change itself, it's the long drawn-out resistance to it.
Yes. Think about a merger. The employees who adapt in that first week, they connect with new managers, learn the new systems. They suffer so much less anxiety than the ones who spend 6 months hoping things will go back to the old way.
That makes perfect sense. Then we get to the mindset lessons, which really look at our internal roadblocks. Lesson 4 is about the comfort trap.
This is such a critical, subtle point.
It is. Your old comforts, your routine, your job title, the software you mastered 10 years ago, they can become these heavy anchors.
The book shows how what felt secure yesterday can become a trap today if you're not paying attention.
It's that entitlement bias, right?
Yeah.
You've been comfortable for so long, you start to think that comfort is a permanent thing.
A permanent fixture of the maze instead of a temporary reward. That complacency is exactly why Hem and Ha didn't even notice the cheese was running out. The mice did.
They were watchful.
This trap is what kills innovation. It's why some teams still resist using modern tools because they're just comfortable with email and spreadsheets from 2005.
That is so true. The comfort zone isn't safe. It's where growth goes to die.
Exactly. And once Ha breaks out of that comfort trap and starts moving, his whole perspective shifts.
Which brings us to the last big takeaway, lesson 6, which is all about perspective. Change is opportunity, not a threat.
Right. Once Ha accepts the situation and starts running, the fear actually starts to fade. The journey itself becomes kind of invigorating.
He realizes that by looking for new cheese, he's not just getting his old security back.
He's finding better cheese. That scary unknown just becomes the next opportunity waiting to be found. And that flip from fear to excitement is the story's ultimate empowering message.
So, shifting gears a bit to the real-world application, it's worth talking about why this book became such a huge deal in the business world.
Oh, it's everywhere. It's a staple in corporate training, in leadership programs,
Why, though?
because of its simplicity, its allegorical power. It gives managers this quick, neutral way, a shared language, to talk about huge, difficult changes without getting all technical or, psychological.
It's a simple framework for a hard conversation.
Its strengths are just undeniable. It's relatable, it works across different cultures and age groups, and it is incredibly fast to get through.
But, for the purpose of a deep dive, we do have to talk about its limitations, especially for you, our listeners, who might be more advanced learners.
For sure. If you study organizational psychology or business strategy for a living, this book might feel, well, a bit too simple.
Yeah.
And that's the trade-off. It's universally useful, but it intentionally avoids any deep psychological analysis. It tells you what to do, move fast, adapt, but it doesn't get into the nuanced why of your own personal resistance.
It doesn't explore the deep-seated fears or past experiences that might make one person a hem and another a haw.
It's a prescription for action, not a manual for therapy.
And to be honest, its repetitiveness, while it's great for making the message stick, it can get a little grating on the third or fourth read.
It can, but its power as a tool to just start a conversation about change is undeniable.
So weighing it all up, the speed, the accessibility, the sheer utility of it, what's our verdict?
We landed on a solid 8.5 out of 10 for what it sets out to do. The main takeaway isn't that this book will change your life overnight,
No.
but it will fundamentally rewire how you respond to life's inevitable changes. It basically gives you a choice. Are you going to be a hem or are you going to be a haw?
So to summarize the distilled knowledge for you, the learner, change is constant. Fear is a choice that just delays your growth, and adaptation is the only real path forward. The whole thing really just boils down to which of those four mindsets you're in right now.
Are you paralyzed and complaining like hem?
Or are you already out there exploring and sniffing out that next opportunity like sniff and scurry?
And that brings us to the final provocative thought we want to leave you with, which builds on the book's limitations. Since the book is so focused on the what, accept change, move on, find the new cheese.
The mechanics of it.
Exactly. We have to ask, if mastering the what of adaptation is the first step, what deeper personalized understanding of the why of your own specific resistance, that cognitive block that only you have, is the next intellectual maze you truly need to explore?
Something to mull over as you start lacing up your own running shoes.
We'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.